Thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Reports this lovely Tuesday evening. It's good to be back again at you. My name is Ife Onyebule. Tonight, we also zero in on the issue of gender violence, but we're looking at how it affects those living with disabilities. My name is Ife Onyebule, and of course, tonight I'm working with DJ Faze and, of course, Charles Kalu. I'm looking forward to having Pelua Professor join us in the course of the show. Well, my guest is already here, but let's take a look at this. How many of us know that sexual assault with persons with disabilities often go unreported? That's a very big question. Not all of us know that. Do you also know that persons with disabilities are victimized and assaulted at a higher rate than other persons in the society? You can also think about this. People with disabilities face different kinds of challenges, and they have very different needs. Some of their challenges put them at higher risk for crimes like assault or even abuse. Now, we also forget that consent is very crucial when any person engages in sexual activity. But for those living with disabilities, do they even have the choice? Do they give their consent before people pounce on them? Tonight, we'll be talking about all of this and what we can do to see how we can end this violence against women, especially those living with disability. Well, this is a Women Advocates Research and Documentation WATSI initiative that's made possible by the joint EU and UN Spotlight Initiative to actually end violence against women. My guest, Ihoma Susan Kelechi, joins us on the show. Kelechi, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Same here.
Very long time, but I see you all over the place. I see you on social media, I see you on TV, I hear about you on radio, and you're just talking about gender-based violence. Let me take you back to some of the things that have happened. You know, the young lady that was killed in Edo, another one in Ibadan, and the continuous, rape of minors, girls, and women. What are you thinking?
In my heart, I'm worried. I'm worried for women and girls with disabilities because we are more vulnerable. We are incapacitated because some of us need people to assist us. We need people to help us in one way or the other. And I look at it. If these people who have their hands, their legs, and can even try to defend themselves are brutalized and even killed, what happens to so many women with disabilities in different institutions, in their homes, and in different places, even in their marital, some people are married, but they still go through this violence. So for me, it makes me wonder where we are going. And even with the figures we are seeing, nobody has documented anything on women with disability. We'll
come to that. Let me just whet the appetite of the listener. Ihoma Susan Kelechi has an OND in computer science from Yaba Tech. She has a BSc Education and PGD Genetic Counseling from the University of Lagos. Her resilience to survive in an environment where there are no jobs for persons living with disability led her to volunteer with the Lagos State government in the health and education sectors, through which she gathered a lot of experience for about 7 years, after which the past governor disengaged her. Though a polio survivor, she has proved that disability is not a barrier, with her intelligence and diligence and punctuality at work, with the number of awards she received when she was still working. She has added her voice in the advocacy for persons with disability who might not speak for themselves. And in her words, we rise by lifting others. Now tell us your story, because you keep talking about what women with disabilities face. Paint a picture for us.
As a woman with disability, it was really difficult to navigate because we live in a patriarchal society, and it's same for everybody, including women with disability. Unfortunately, the awareness is not there. You only hear people talking about women, women, women. Who speaks for women with disabilities? Who talks about the issues we go through in the university, in our day-to-day lives, at work, from our caregivers, intimate part? It will interest you to know that most times, the people who even abuse people, whether verbally, physically, or otherwise, are people who are close to us. And that in itself gives me so much concern, because through my journey going to school and everything, I found out that we had so many challenges and nobody was speaking. Everybody was just silent and accepting our fate. No, it's not my fate. If I had to go through the struggles of passing each course like every other student, then the rights of other women are also rights of women living with disabilities.
So tell us the people that you work with. When we talk about women living with disability, what do you do now as it is? Because from the little thing I read about you, the profile I read about you, it says that you were disengaged. Why were you disengaged?
The last governor disengaged all volunteers. And in both schemes, the Lagos Eco Project and the Lagos Health Volunteer Scheme, I was the only person with disability in both schemes for those years. And he disengaged. Of course, if there was disaggregated data, maybe on compassionate ground, he might have thought of someone with disability in this scheme.
And keeping you.
And keeping me, at least for even giving my time, my life, for 7 years in helping others and doing the volunteer job. But of course, this is Nigeria and this is Lagos, where we don't have disaggregated data. We have 300 volunteers. What is the make of these volunteers?
So for women living with disability, how difficult can it be? Because you just said something about people, quote unquote, I hate to use that word, normal persons. When you talk about how difficult it is for them to struggle with, you know, a rapist and all of that, then you come to a woman living with disability. What do you think is going on in her head?
The problem we have is the culture of silence, stigmatization, discrimination. Oh, you might even open up to a family member. I've had cases where people report to me because I'm a lady in the disability, a leader in the disability community.
Yeah.
And when people report cases to you, you are trying to take up, you are trying to call the necessary authorities to help out. And then you hear them say, family members say, don't talk about it. Because if you talk about it, where would you go?
Yeah.
Who would, and don't even think he's doing you a favor. And that is one of the most annoying things I have ever heard. Who does someone a favor? Nobody is doing you a favor by marrying you and abusing you. The person is traumatizing you daily. So telling me maybe I should keep quiet, suffering and smiling. You keep suffering and so that they'll say I have a child. You know, there's this myth that persons with disabilities is quite difficult for us to have children. So the fact that somebody is even doing a favor by coming close to you, whatever he does, just take it and stay there because of your children. That is unacceptable.
So how do you think we can break this culture of silence?
We have to take responsibility. Everyone, family members, the society, every single person is accountable for the next person. If we take it that persons with disability are also humans, first and foremost, every person with disability, both men and women, are human beings first. If we treat everybody as human beings, then whatever affects a person who lives with a disability, who is more vulnerable, should concern the next person. Whether you're a family member, you can't help to shut that person down without thinking of the psychological trauma, the kind of pains that person is going through on a daily basis. Such people could go into depression. I've heard someone talk about killing herself, and someone had to call me all the way from Enugu to call that lady and speak to her, just to encourage her. She said she saw my page and she sees how vibrant I am. She doesn't know if I live in the same country where others live. Yes, I do, but I'm being intentional about it. I want to survive against all odds.
Surviving against all odds. Now, how many people have the kind of spirits that you have? When you meet persons living with disabilities and they bring these cases to you, how do you talk to them? What do you tell them?
I tell them about my challenges. I'm not smiling because I don't have challenges. Some of these abuses, at some point in time, whether verbally, physically, or otherwise, we have encountered it. I have encountered it. So I tell you my story and you draw strength from it. By the time you see someone in your shoes encouraging you from experience, nothing for us without us. I am a person with disability, so it's not as if it's someone who does not live with disability who is speaking to you. I'm telling you from my own experience. I'm telling you that even for people who do not live with disability, it's not easy. But you have to be intentional and don't live a life of pity. when things happen, speak out. Don't let anyone shut you down. Don't let family members or friends or anyone tell you you are less. Because when they tell you to keep absorbing it, you can't be productive on a day-to-day basis because you feel you are worthless. You are just there because, oh, at least I've seen someone. No. I just use my own story and cite certain instances to encourage that person.
So tell us a little of that story of yours.
When I was a younger person, I was born in the 70s and born in the northern part of Nigeria. And in the north, immunization was not something that was rampant. And so growing up in a society where you see persons with disability and they tell you maybe the woman has done something wrong. That's why she has a child with disability. And then the woman has that at the back of her mind. So as you grow, she feels this child is a liability. That is the major problem our parents have. This child is a liability. For life, that person has to depend on me. So everything triggers anger. They hit you. I've been hit severally, even my working age. But you know, looking back, I know where she's coming from because I'm a grown woman.
No.
I understand, but at that time, it wasn't easy for me. I couldn't come to reality. I was thinking of when I would get out of that bondage. But gradually, with the grace of God, because I couldn't have done it alone, and some friends who actually saw potentials in me, even when I didn't see it, they encouraged me. They were telling me to keep pushing, and that was how I continued with my education, and I thank God for today.
And you came to Lagos. How easy was it for you to find a job at the time that you looked?
When I finished the university, my first degree, in 2009, I was already past the age of service, so I couldn't go for the youth service corps. I was looking for opportunities, every opportunity, and one day my mom came back with a newspaper and she said, see, there's this volunteer job, maybe we start from this place, you can just keep sitting at home. And so I applied, wrote the exams, and I passed. I was posted to a school in Maryland, Mende Junior High School, and I live at Ojota. So that was how I started. Those two volunteer jobs have been the only jobs I have done, because I believe that at least in my place of service, God could use that to lift me up.
And that's how you got the job?
That was how I got the job for the education. And in 2012, I heard about the one for health, Lagos State Volunteer Scheme, and I applied. It was quite rigorous. I wrote the exams and I passed. And for the 3 months or thereabout where we had to go to PSSDC and Magodo training, I did all the training and I passed. And I was posted to the primary healthcare center at Ogudu in Koshofi. So that was where I had been serving as a data management officer and encouraging people. Of course, I was born in the north, so I speak Hausa and Igbo and I speak Yoruba. So it gave me the opportunity to also lend my voice to the Hausas, telling them in the language they understand, to bring their children in for immunization, citing my own case as an instance to them. And it improved a lot of things. Even coming out for family planning clinics, they were coming to clinics. So everyone has something to bring to the table, whether you live with disability or not.
All right, then this is the Daily Report. That's if you've just joined us. We're talking about gender-based violence and people living with disabilities. When you look around, they are all around us. We have them as friends, we have them as family members, we have them as children. How have you treated them? That is a big question. How open have you been about talking or discussing issues with them? Kelechi, when we talk about a woman being abused, a woman living with disability, what signs should she look out for? Perhaps there's someone in a relationship now and she doesn't know what you're talking about. She simply feels that the man loves me and that's why he's probably treating me this way and all of that. What are those signs that people should look out for?
When I am in a relationship, I expect to have a partner who will build me, not someone who brings me down. You don't tell me words that will bring me down. You extort money. We also know that some people are close to persons with disabilities or in relationships because they see them as people who are doing well. Maybe they are athletes, para-athletes and all of that. And they keep taking money from you. That person is not adding value to you. And at every instance, person is telling you, I will leave you. You are not even happy that I care?
That I'm with
Who
you.
tells you that? If I was not woman enough, you would not approach me. So you don't tell me that you are doing me a favor. No, that is a lie. You don't let people bring you down to the level where you think you can't amount to anything. No, I'm less of a human. Actually, he's doing me a favor. I'm not saying you should be rude. No. But don't let people use you. You see people hit you. And after hitting you, he comes back to tell you, oh, I'm sorry, it was out of anger. Anger. What kind of anger is that? If I was able to defend myself, would you be hitting me? I walk with a walking aid and you take away my walking aid, or you pull me out of the wheelchair and I fall on the floor. What kind of love would that be? No. These are some of the signs you see, and you don't keep allowing that person to keep doing that over and over again.
So what do I do in that instance?
In that instance, you reach out for help. You have what? See? You have Project Alert. These are people who have made it easy for us, no matter the kind of disability you have. You reach out to them. Even if you have been abused sexually, you just go to Mirabel Center. Go, you need help. That is the most important thing. And it is important that these perpetrators are brought to book. If you don't bring them to book, they will think, oh, what will they do? And when you report to the authorities, they even make matters worse. Where till you find God there? You talk about people wearing short dresses and looking curvy. When someone is on the wheelchair, what is the curvy thing you are seeing? That is to tell you that the perpetrators are just deliberate. They just want to use you. I heard someone during my university day saying, I just want to know what it feels like sleeping with a woman with disability. That is the height of it.
Very, very sad. All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, because Kelechi has actually hit the nail on the head. Your partner should not bring you down, but build you. And you don't let people tell you that they are doing you a favor by marrying you or being in a relationship with you. This is a daily report. I tell you, it is a Women Advocate Research and Documentation WOTC initiative, of course made possible by the joint EU and UN Spotlight initiative to end violence against women. We've got to do everything that we can to see how we achieve this. How can we, of course, battle this issue of gender-based violence as it relates to women with disability? A break will do. When we come back, we'll begin to take your calls at 0906,000 7158, 0906,000 7158. To send a WhatsApp, it's 0906,000 5748. We're at the Daily Report on Twitter and, of course, Facebook. We're going to break and we're back. Don't go away.
The Daily Report.